Welcome to Elite Desecrated Temple of Vol. I've done a video for this one before, but it was quite a while ago. It was during my Favorite Soul True First Life project. So I'll do a more updated one, and I'm level 16 now, so it's been a few levels since I've done a video. I've been flying through levels. I wanted to do a video at least every 2 levels this life, but clearly I am not reaching that goal. So let's take a look at where things are on the enhancement side. And I am level 16, just a tiny bit from 17, and I've got a lot of points spent in Soul Eater now. And I'm planning on spending 3 more points, possibly 5 more in Soul Eater. We'll see. But I've got some points spent to make my Consume and Stricken to be a lot more powerful. This gives some vulnerability. It says against targets marked by your stricken attack, your melee, range, and eldritch blast attacks inflict vulnerability. Vulnerability they take 1% more damage for 3 seconds. The effect stacks up to 20 times. And so the idea here is that when you're hitting like a boss with your stricken and with your stricken attack, then and that's going to start stacking up with the bursts and blasts, and you can do progressively more damage with that against like a boss. That's it. I believe that's like the idea behind that. Greater Hunger. This increases my consumed damage over time by 2d10. Stricken damage increased by 46. Melee, ranged, and eldritch blast attack do 2d6 chaotic damage when striking an opponent marked by consume attack. So it's all synergizing. Steel Life Force, I had that last video. It's a nice, I think the only real healing ability that a Warlock has throughout all the trees. It's not a traditional healing spell, but it's actually healing with positive energy as opposed to providing temporary hit points, which that's pretty almost all of what your Warlock sort of pseudo healing is, providing temporary hit points. This provides actual healing, but it is a bold attack that damages your enemies and then heals you for a similar amount. I'm planning on spending 1 more point to get this Eldritch Seeker to do 5%, or increase my chance to critically hit by 5%, and then I need to spend 2 more points to get there, so I'll probably just get a point of Charisma. There's nothing else here that interests me. I certainly don't need DCs to my enchantment, illusion, and necromancy spells. I don't really feel like I need Cone Shape. It's possible I could pick that up instead of a point of Charisma. I don't really like this your flesh is weak thing where you do stat damage to a target and then you get that stat for 12 or 20 seconds. It just doesn't seem that great. And I've heard people rave about this Feeding Frenzy, which increases your speed. It says when you use Consume on an enemy, the feeding increases your movement, so you have 1% per Warlock level for 20. I don't know. I'm not sold on it yet. Maybe I should reserve judgment. Nothing spent in Tainted Scholar, and I probably won't be spending anything there. And then over here in Enlightened Spirit, I'm going to spend another point here in Resilience of Body for more PRR. I'm going to get the MRR here. That's 3 more points. I'm going to spend 2 more points to get the level 18 and then Capstone Enhancements. I'd like to get both my points of Constitution and then my Healing Amp. That'll be about it. That'll pretty much all of it. Let's take a look at where the gear is. Still got the Smoke Goggles, Green Steel. Still got Jinx's Vexation. Same as last video. I think this is the same. Constitution 6, Enchantment Save +4. Feather Falling crafted with Good Luck +2 crafted. Freedom of Movement on the Kundrock Delving Boots. Ogre Power +6 Strength Gloves. Circle of Hatred. This is a nice source of Intimidate and Resistance. Comes from the Abbot Raid. Green Steel Mineral Tube Belt +45 hit points. Night Singer's Mantle. A lot of this is the same as the last videos. A few pieces have changed, but this is the same. Really nice for an for a Fey Pact Warlock, because the Night Singer's ability at the bottom there says 5% chance on sonic spell hit, the target is blinded for 6 seconds. Plus it has Perform 13, that increases your sonic damage Blindness immunity is nice, and then it's got the slot. Empowered Dragon Scale, this comes from the end chest, not the optional chest. The end chest in Search and Rescue, level 15 version, the heroic version. It's got the green slot, Quality Con +1, False Life 32, Insightful Fortitude Save +3, and Fire Resistance 32. Pretty nice little trinket. I've got the Silver Flame Talisman because I don't have a Death Ward spell, so this helps to absorb negative level attacks, level draining attacks. Pansophic Circlet, this comes from Memoirs of an Illusory Larcener. This is probably the best overall, just general potency item in the game. We talked about it last video. Very, very nice. Both the heroic and legendary versions are awesome. Now I've got the level 14. This is the newer version of Fanion. I mean, this version's been out for at least a couple of years, but I had the older version too. But this has the slot on there. I just have natural armor +4 on there. No arcane spell failure on the Fanion, so awesome for casters that would suffer from arcane spell failure. Also has Arch Magi, Greater False Life. It's a nice little shield. This comes from the Shield of Legends turn-in Upper Necropolis. And then this is the same bastard sword I was using as I was doing my experimental lives, where I was multi-classing and doing the 9 Warlock thing. This has Radiance 87 on it and Radiance Lore 12. Of course, I'm not proficient with Bastard Sword, but I just have it because it's basically just a caster stick. Alright. Let's do the damn quest. Now, this is going to be very easy. But this can be a really tough quest. And the reason is because it's easy to get overwhelmed in here. There are a lot of mobs, and some of them are sort of stealthing or just they don't appear right away. And so it's easy to just aggro a bunch of mobs and become overwhelmed, and you can start getting like strength drained by all the shadows, and they can just strength drain you down to nothing, you're helpless, and then you're dead. But if you have good AoE attacks that can take out these mobs, then this quest can be ridiculously easy and be run in just a matter of a few minutes. Just gotta come over here and get the key, and we're gonna have to go to the other side too. Now, if you haven't played, if you're coming back from a long break and you haven't done this quest in a while, one of the changes they made a couple of years ago, and I believe they made the change when they made this pack epic, was that you can't just have 2 people get, keys from that same chest. That was the popular thing to do. If you had more than one person, you just had multiple people down that side, which is the easier side. They each get a key, and that would be all you needed to unlock these control boxes. But now they changed it so that you have to go to both sides. No problem running through these traps. Our aura is going to keep us up. But I want to get my collectibles along the way. 3 collectibles down here. Misty Escape now, so I got my Abundant Step-like ability. Just love it, which, as I've mentioned before, that is really a big selling point for me for Fae Pact. I just love my fast movement options, wings, snow slide with the Winter Wolf Druid, etc. Just love it. I wish that the Misty Escape didn't have such a long cooldown. So with the Consume, the Stricken, the Burning Blood SLA, and the Steel Life Force, I have quite a few things I can do now between bursting, which is what I was sort of hoping for. That's what I wanted. That was that's what the experiment is about, is to have some more things to do in between the bursting, and to be able to and with the specific focus of having higher boss DPS. A lot of people have noted that they feel that's where I hate to call it a weakness of the Enlightened Spirit, but but the Enlightened Spirit definitely doesn't shine when it comes to boss DPS, single target, big DPS. So the Stricken Consume and all that is going to help with that. So I'm really looking forward to getting into epics and seeing how that plays out. Now, I personally, I don't see it as a shortfall, as a shortcoming. But certainly, people who are looking to play higher DPS builds are going to see it that way. I think the Enlightened Spirit has great DPS, but I can certainly appreciate the desire for higher boss DPS. Burst, and like I said, if you have AoEs that can take care of these shadows, no problem. The burst just tear them up. But if you don't, easy to get overwhelmed down here. You get a red dungeon alert, you get helpless from all the strength drain, you're dead. So it can be as difficult as it is easy. Doing all this light damage with the Enlightened Spirit is just smoking the undead. I always like to go to this side first, so when I first come in here, I'm making a left to clear out the shrine. Not a big deal on heroic, but in epic it's nice to have that shrine unlocked and available to you if you need to go back to use it. And I also didn't go down here. This is the Marut optional. There is a locked door, and I don't have a way to unlock that. At least I'm not going to use a bell for that. But that's where your you get your Shield of Legend piece or Tome of Legend piece. That's the optional in this quest that can give you one of those. So if you have a way to unlock doors, you definitely should do that optional. Boom, ding 17. Thanks for watching. If you have questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube. If you have questions about my build, you can respond in the Warlock forum. And if you're on Soroma, you're welcome to send me a tell.